Good day, this is Anton Skeppers of AIM, Agricultural and Industrial Marketing Company in South Africa. I'm a chief economist. If you go into our Facebook, you'll see many of our videos, but today I want to speak about a solution for a Minister of Agriculture. So, Honorable Minister of Agriculture, if you are listening to this video, we have been involved as AIM for the last 40 years in putting up agricultural projects, development projects, completely off the grid, the national grid, that is the road grid and the energy grid. So far away from electricity, far away from good roads, we established these projects. And so what we are putting forward today is the idea of an incubation farm that will assist you to target hundreds, if not thousands, of small farmers that need training, that need a mother hen to look after them. We put forward the idea of the incubation farm. And the way we're going to fund this thing is three ways. The first one is where government comes in and provides AIM, our company, with a mandate and seed finance in order to put a complete turnkey business plan together for this opportunity. In that business plan, we can identify various groups of communities we're going to be working with. We're going to look at the land, the natural resources, that's the soil, the water, infrastructure, the economy, the climate in that area. And then we're also going to be looking at the cost of doing the production, the value adding, the supply chain, all the way through to the market. So by the time we as chief economists are finished with this business plan, it is absolutely bankable. So that is a requirement from government. Then we're going to source finance from the likes of the European Investment Bank, International Finance Corporation, African Development Bank. If you're in the former colonialized area from the UK, then the Foreign Commonwealth Development Fund as well. There's many other funds like this that one can apply to, the African Export-Import Bank. And then, of course, let's not forget our own company, our own country development corporations that will then fund the basic capital infrastructure. But the actual production on the farms, that will be done by the small farmers that are coming in. So let's say the first year there is an intake of 20 farmers that come in from the communities onto this incubation farm. On that incubation farm, every single one of these 20 farmers will have written a business plan that we will write as AIM, because we are the project proponents, to access finance for the production of just one full year of production. While that production takes place, these farmers will be trained. Now, this is where the third leg comes into, and that is we will invite commercial farmers. They could be from your country, adjacent countries, or from South Africa, that would come in and form a permanent strategic partnership with that community. Now, you might say to myself, well, what does the structure look like? It works as follows. We have intakes of community coming from the surrounding community onto the incubation farm for 1 year. They operate and function under what we call a community development trust. So let us say, for example, this is Lubumbashi in the DRC. Where outside Lubumbashi, we're targeting a community where there's thousands of small farmers, where we put up this incubation farm, because we want those farmers to be part and parcel of the mainstream economy. We want those farmers to produce what we are currently importing. We want those farmers to produce what we as a country would like to export as well. But we want small farmers to be involved. So if you're a mine operator, this would also be perfect for you. If you're in the oil and gas sector, huge big corporate social investors, this is perfect for you to be able to target a huge big community. So if we were just outside Lubumbashi, we could call this the Lubumbashi Development Initiative, or Community Lubumbashi Development Trust, for example. This Lubumbashi Development Trust would then be relevant for all community members in that area that come and are trained and then go back to their farms. But now this is the important thing. We need to bring in commercial expertise, and that's where we find this relationship with these commercial farmers. So you've got government, you've got the community who bring their soft loans for for the production for each year, and then you've got the commercial farmers that come in and manage this capital infrastructure, the processing, the seed, fertilizer, chick provision to the farm, and they also manage the marketing channels as well, the trading from there to the markets that AIM has opened up with these business plans of ours. So it's a full big mouthful, but as we go through these slides, please, all we are interested in at this stage is for you to basically understand the concept of the incubation farm. And at the end, as I summarize, I'll give you my contact details again. My name, a company number, company name, the email, and our cell phone number. For you to contact us so that we can have a team call with yourself where we can discuss the much more intricacies of this incubation farm as it fits, whether you are in Ghana, South Africa, Botswana, Zimbabwe, Zambia, DRC, East, West Africa, Central Africa. It doesn't matter where you are, we can put up this incubation farm, and it is a tried and tested system that works. And it is one mechanism whereby the government doesn't have to spend too much money to be able to affect a huge group of people. Because remember, every single year there's a new intake. So we have people coming in, they train, they go back to their farms, a new group comes in. They train, they go back to the farms, and this Community Development Trust is a not-for-profit organization, trust, so that we are able to source funding from all over the world for that trust in order for us to increase the size of this incubation farm. So it is a mechanism whereby we train small farmers that eventually graduate back to their farms, but they still have access to the incubation farm for all their inputs, for their processing, for their marketing, for their transport, for their mechanization, etc., etc. So it is your funding as an agency, your funding as a government, your funding is purely to kickstart this process. Once it is kickstarted, it is a private sector run initiative that just keeps rolling. And at the end of each year, you're depositing 20, 30, there's even some projects where it's as much as 50 small farmers are graduated from the program. And those small farmers are not left to their own devices. They form part and parcel of a bigger program. And that is to fit in and continue to relate with the incubation farm. All right, so it's a big mouthful. But I ask you to look at these slides very briefly as we go through all the various points with you. And then at the end, I'm going to summarize again and show you exactly how you can get hold of us, because the intention of this video is purely for you to know about the incubation farm and get in touch with us so that we might be able to fly to your country or go visit your project and then do a complete detailed presentation, or via Microsoft Teams, a detailed presentation of how we're able to assist you. So a little bit of money, and then you've got thousands and thousands and thousands of farmers that will eventually be graduated from this program. But at the same time, that thing is completely economically sustainable, completely independent, and it is an organism, it is a body where training takes place, where agricultural development takes place from year 3, 4, or 5, or 6, doesn't cost the government a cent. But they have these dynamos that they can put up all over their country, and in this way impact thousands and thousands of small farmers. So this is what we would like to explain to you. All right, thank you. Enjoy this video. Naturally, before one considers an incubation farm, you need to see what is being produced in the area, what are the desires of the community, and of course also be informed by the Department of Agriculture or the development agency or authorities that are active in the area. Not a good idea to introduce something that is completely foreign to the community. Very important then to see what the soils are like, what the water condition is like, the quality as well as the volume, and to see what kind of in situ infrastructure exists currently on the project before you erect an incubation farm. Always better to work on a brownfields project than trying to erect something from brand new. As indicated, enterprise selection is extremely important. For example, if you're in an arid area, as in below on this slide,
and you're close to water, you need to utilize that infrastructure, which is the water and the good alluvial swells. Then again, you might have an area where all you can really do is agro-processing. Then that plays a leading role in the composition of the incubation farm. Continuing to look at the enterprises, sometimes the community literally comes to you with the eggs and the chickens, and you need to now upgrade that into appropriate economies of scale, or they bring to you the seeds, like you see the pulses and the corn and etc. etc. You then need to upgrade that in increased economies of scale, or down to, at the bottom here, you need to look at irrigation with solar from a borehole in order to be able to energize a specific component of the incubation farm. There are two processes of market investigation one needs to look at. The first one is before you actually erect the incubation farm, you need to speak to government, to officials, to marketers, and find out exactly what products will definitely have a market before you erect the incubation farm. Once these key elements have been determined, one can proceed with the erection of the incubation farm. The training of these emergent farmers is what it's all about. Training them in classroom fashion such as this, as well as outside on the field with our commercial farmers. As indicated, we need to show them everything. How the nurseries are put up, how you produce, how you transplant, how you harvest, how the office operates. All of aspects of production needs to be covered in the training, practically in the field as well as in the classroom. All aspects of agro-processing needs to be considered. In this case, we're looking at cassava, which is a very popular product, and then of course also vegetables below that need to be harvested, collected, and then processed. No incubation farm would be complete without its storage facilities, which also need to be erected. Here we're catering for bottled products, we're catering for cold storage, and of course for grains as well. The second type of marketing that one needs to consider is where you have now, once you have produced the products, to start circulating back to all the markets and showing them samples, making sure that the incubation farm appropriately product fits, that should produce what the market wants, when they want it, where they want it, how they want it. It's important to get that right before the actual harvest season takes place, so make sure that you're still in touch with your markets. The final process, in which this is the happy process, is when the graduation takes place. And these incubation farms have really graduated some fantastic people over the years. And in that graduation process, there is much fanfare, but these are the people that are going to move into your country now and do the commercial production actively, but still attached to the incubation farms.
Okay, so now you've seen the video. Now you've seen what this incubation farm is all about. The incubation farm is meant to be one farm that we establish in the middle of a huge, vast community where you've got beautiful land, great water, good soils, but very little commercial production takes place. We put this public-private partnership project down, and this is where primary production takes place that will replace what is being imported into the country. This is where primary production, value adding, will take place for products that will be exported or targeted to local and national markets. And this program is an ongoing program. It only needs what we call catalytic, kickstart finance right in the beginning in order for the process to continue to roll and produce graduated farmers. You've seen our contact details above. We invite you to get in touch with us. We look forward to having a Teams call with you to explain to you more about how the system works and how you, as the Minister of Agriculture, or you as the director or the president of your organization, where agricultural development work takes place, where you will be able to grab hold of this system and this mechanism in order to be able to change your communities forever. All right, so we welcome you to get in touch with us and look forward to having follow-up meetings with yourselves. Thank you very much and good day.